going to get as many AEDs within range as we need, and this is what this does.
You're sensing with the three of us. It's a legitimate team. We actually like one another. That goes a long way, by the way, and that's not always the case in every legislative district in this state.
We have just passed A 5043, the Healthy Hearts Bill.
Welcome to another episode of the State House Minute. I'm Assemblyman Dave Bailey.
I'm Assemblywoman Heather Simmons.
And Senator John Berzicelli.
As you've heard us say many times on the State House Minute, we sit around and we talk about important topics that are important to you, but also topics that are important to us. And so recently we talked about a very, very serious topic that is near and dear to Heather's family and her heart. Pardon the pun on that. Death in the family shouldn't be the reason that you learn about HCM and your family. And Heather wanted to do something about that.
So thank you so much, Dave and John. You're both involved with this bill. And this one's personal to me. So a little bit of story time here. I have a wonderful nephew, my sister's only child, Earl, who's 22 years old, senior at Temple University. And about 6 years ago, he suffered a sudden cardiac arrest and was lost for about 11 minutes until he was revived. It happened again a couple of years later when he was spending some time with the family. And that's where that line came from. In fact, it was Earl's line that a death in the family shouldn't be the way you find out about this disease. And this disease is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which essentially is part of the family of cardiomyopathy diseases that are the thickening of the heart, the enlarging of the heart, the thickening of the wall that surrounds the heart. And it is the disease that you see young people, young athletes particularly, die from suddenly. And so with Earl's help doing the policy research on this, helping to draft the bill, and even testifying before the committee a little bit earlier this year, we have just passed A 5043, the Healthy Hearts Bill, meant to raise awareness about cardiomyopathy and to arm schools, coaches, teachers, and families with the information that they need to make sure that they can identify and very quickly treat emergencies to help more young people like Earl survive.
I think it's very significant, and as you listen to us speak about these things, you get a sense that as legislators, we're affected by our own lives, and bring those experiences into the legislative process. It makes it very personal. But we also have residents approach us about their circumstances, just like Heather is describing with her nephew. And that helps us be better legislators, be more effective, and helps us go right to the core of where we can help. This is Heather's personal experience in her family. Dave's had similar, I have similar stories, and people approach us all the time, as I mentioned. So that's why this works. And by the way, you're sensing with the three of us, it's a legitimate team. We actually like one another. That goes a long way, by the way, and that's not always the case in every legislative district in this state. I take this moment to say that because often we say it at different times in different cycles, but it's good to say it here. These are two wonderful people. I'm so happy to be associated with them, and they brought a great deal to the State House. I'm an old, weathered veteran of this, and been through many wars. And these two individuals have just been grand. And Heather, this is good work, among other things. And Dave, the various things that you brought forward, your experiences, made us very effective.
Heather, when you brought this to our attention, it reminded me of a Saturday morning. I just had the TV on as background noise, I thought. But ESPN did a special on a young soccer player who suffered a tragic experience on the soccer field, going to college to play soccer. An AED was only 100 yards away, but no one knew where it was. Yep. And I immediately, in my own world, said, we're going to get as many AEDs within range as we need. And this is what this does. Again, not only raising awareness, but equipping schools with the proper things that they need. So
the legislature many years ago passed a law that said that AEDs have to be in public locations.
I was there for that.
Yes, you were. You were a big part of that. But this bill takes it just a little bit further and requires schools to have emergency response plans.
Correct.
So to prevent exactly what you're saying, that, we have the AED, but nobody knows where it is. So schools, it has been determined, and by the way, these notes came from my nephew Earl, who put these together for us. Schools that have such plans in place are 2.7 times more likely to have a positive outcome in cardiac arrest situations. And I can't think of anything more important than that.
again, as John just said, just an important topic that's been addressed. And so thank you for all your work on this. Thank you to Earl. It was an honor. As I sat next to you and you passed this bill and you brought this bill forward, and Earl was standing there side by side with you in the State House, it brought chills, everybody. And it was just a great experience, and one that I will cherish.
Was that your first bill?
That was my first bill to pass.
Deal.
Thank you so much.
That's a big deal.
Senator, for noting that. And you're going to carry it for us in the Senate.
I was going to say, is it out of the Senate yet?
No, it is not. So a little bit of a reminder.
It'll be out quickly.
What are you doing here, John? Get going, will you?
Get to work.
Both of you know that these have been a couple very long days, so I'm thrilled to be invited onto your program.
And with that note, this has been another episode of State House Minute. I'm Assemblywoman Heather Simmons.
I'm Assemblyman Dave Bailey.
And Senator John Berzicelli.